What's up, guys? Got a huge video for you today. We're here at Fast Performance. We're getting the Roush Supercharger installed thanks to Nick Curtin and his team over at Fast Performance in Ormond Beach, Florida. The car is up on the rack. It's going smoothly so far. We've already got the intake manifold off, the blower disassembled, because it comes pre-assembled with the rails, the lid, everything already on it. The vacuum bypass already on the lid. So far the install, very impressed with the setup of it and the layout. Here's the back side.
And what's nice is,
but yeah guys, really cool. This thing comes pre-assembled with the rails and the fuel injectors already installed in the lower half of the blower. So all you got to do once you pull the lid off, pull the intake manifold and set this in. But everything is already pre-connected. Got nice braided fuel line to feed those new billet rails and those new injectors. But yeah, we're only about, what would you say, like 25% through this already? 20%. So yeah, we're about 20% through the install so far. Everything is going really smooth. Really impressed with the Roush kit thus far. Well thought out, well engineered. The install, the instructions, so far so good. We got the car up in the air. We got the splash shields off. We're getting ready to pull the bumper. We got the oil draining right now because we're gonna be changing the oil on here. We're draining the coolant. Got everything laid out, all the parts, accessories. We got fresh AMSOIL going in. And then all of our parts. Bumper is off the car. Coolant is drained. We're working on pulling the active grills. I won't show that part where he just dropped a bolt in that oil. And here we go, guys. We're just gonna pull all this out of the way. We're gonna get the intercooler mounted here shortly. But yeah. There's your Gen 4 Coyote with the intake manifold removed. We got the pulleys installed, the transmission coolant pump bracket modified and bolted back on. We've just finished adding 10 quarts of oil. All right, now we've got the spark plugs in, coil packs in. We've got the heater core hose modified and ran. The instructions say to put it on top of the coil packs, but we actually think it looks better going under. It also keeps you from, or allows you to access the dipstick, where if it was ran on top, it kind of gets in the way. All the pulleys are installed, hoses are in process. Now we're getting the low temp radiator ready to be set up. We got to install some tape on the sides here, like cushioning tape, to avoid it, rubbing. But here's the welds. But so yeah, once we get the tape on, we'll make a few modifications in the radiator housing to allow that to mount in there. Alright, we're getting the blower installed.
keep it up. Get out those gaskets, touch nothing.
Alright, I got the connector. Alright, connector's plugged in and latched and checked. Alright. Alright, there we go. The blower is sitting on the car. Alright guys, we got the injectors connected and the supercharger mounted to the car. Time to tighten some things up, put the lid on.
Well, that's 12. 11 would be on the side.
That's how men get shit done here.
You're just going on each bolt, working your way from the middle out. Next, the fuel supply hose.
Alright, photo time. Alright, we got the tank mounted, hoses, intercooling system all hooked up, the hot sides closed up. Just finishing securing the radiator. Gotta mount the wiring for the intercooler pump. Get the intakes on. Vacuum fill the cooling system. Cooling system's vacuum fill, and then we'll throw the bumper back on. Not bad guys. Oh boy guys, she's all bolted in, bolted up, back together. Now we just need to flash the car. We're gonna do that in a separate video because the flashing process with the Roush is a little bit different than the Whipple, so we can bring that to you and benefit you guys that are choosing to go with the Roush. Final thoughts on the install. The install takes a little bit longer than the Whipple. Pros to the Roush kit over the Whipple is the blower design. It comes pre-assembled with the fuel injectors, rails, fuel crossover, map sensor, all ready to go. And there's a ton of room in the back to get to those connectors should you need to, or when you're like installing it, you need to hook up the map sensor. The Whipple, it is a pain in the ass to get to the behind the head unit. So install the head unit and the overall ergonomics of the head unit. Definitely the Roush has the leg up on the Whipple. The belt routing on the Roush is superior to the Whipple, being that it is closer to the block. The Whipple, it uses the main alternator belt, which is farther out on the crankshaft. You know, these are little differences here, but that is a difference that I would say a pro towards the Roush. However, the modifications that need to be done to the timing cover is a pro for the Whipple. No modifications need to be done to the timing cover for the Whipple. For me, keeping the 2 throttle bodies, it's a feature of the 2024 and up Gen 4 Coyotes. To me, it's just important to keep the feature of the Gen 4 5.0. The Roush does that. The heat exchanger setup on the Roush looks a little bit better performance-wise. However, the mounting of it isn't as good as the Whipple, as well as the pump mounting. So the intercooling setup, low temperature side, I would say is kind of like a wash. One looks better, performs better, one has a little bit better mounting. The instructions, the Whipple comes with a physical hard copy, whereas the Roush comes with a PDF, which is nice for when you're searching through things. You're not flipping back and forth. You don't have to worry about it getting, you know, dirty, torn, wet, you know, whatever. And then the tuning process. So with the Whipple, you have to send out the calibration to Whipple, and then in, you know, 24 hours, they'll get back to you with your calibration, and then you can flash the car. With the Roush, it comes with an activation code in the kit. All you need is access to the Roush diagnostic tuning software, which is free to download. So all you do is hook the car up, connect with the Roush diagnostic tuning software, input your kit's activation code, and flash the car. So the tuning, maybe a little bit of a wash there, but definitely the fact that you don't need to wait for anybody to do anything for you. It already comes, you know, you just have access to the tune that way. Both kits require the bumper to come off to install the low temperature side, so that's a wash. The amount of time you save with the head unit on the Roush is basically nullified by the fact that you do have to open up the cooling circuit, the high temperature cooling circuit on the Roush car, whereas the Whipple you do not. So I would say that's about a wash as well. So the kits are really close in terms of personal preference. Now the Roush Stage 2 kit, you can get between $9,000 and $10,000, whereas the Stage 1 Whipple is $10,000. So there is something there as well. So yes, the Roush, you get, you know, you're reusing the factory intakes, so you get less parts for your money with the Roush, but it does seem like you get more performance for your money with Roush. So keep that in mind as well.